going to resume our meeting. If you will, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Under the public appearance agenda, we have item 9, public hearings and final, what is that, Norm? And final passage. Item 9A is a public hearing regarding summary ordinance number 12,877. An ordinance amending the 2021-2022 operating and capital budgets to fund 2 part-time Recreation Department employees to assist at Musbertolino Playground and amending ordinance number 7549. Mr. Chairman, I've received a request for a 2-meeting deferral. I have a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney on a 2-meeting deferral. Council members, please vote on a defer. Councilman Segura has his hand up.
Councilman Segura.
Yes. All right. This has been, what, the second, third times we deferred this? Anybody have an idea? I know it's been 2 or 3 times.
We might need it.
Why don't we indefinitely defer it and then bring it up when we do need to get it back?
I don't see what it hurts to do it the way we're doing it.
Well, why don't we resolve it?
It'll eventually be resolved.
How many times can we keep deferring something? Well, next year you can resolve it.
It cannot be more than 2 meetings at a time. But the rule is silent on how many times you can defer it.
All right, well, is there any movement to get it resolved, or is it just keep sitting and hoping it gets
Can you move the mic closer, please?
It will get resolved eventually.
That wasn't the question. Is there any movement yet?
Council Chair, I call the question.
You can't have a discussion to get an answer on a
I have
deferral?
a motion to call the question by Councilmember Brennan, a second by Councilmember Brannigan to call the question. Council members, please vote to call the question. Councilmember Carroll.
Yay.
Councilmember Segura.
Nay.
Councilmember Hayes.
No.
Councilmember Brannigan.
Yes.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Councilmember McKinney.
Yes.
Councilmember Wilmot.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-2. Councilmembers Segura and Hayes are opposed to calling the question. Back to your original motion, which is a 2-meeting deferral on item 9A. Councilman Segura.
Nay.
Councilman Hayes.
No.
Councilman Brannigan.
Yes.
Councilman Brennan.
Yes.
Councilman McKinney.
Yes.
Councilman Wilmot.
Yay.
Councilman Carroll.
Yay.
Motion passes 5-2. Councilmembers Segura and Hayes are opposed. Item 9B is a public hearing regarding summary ordinance number 12,895. An ordinance ratifying all procedural processes associated with the fiscal year 2021-2022 operating budget adopted June 14, 2021. I have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan, to open the public hearing. Council members, please vote. Councilmember Hayes.
Yes.
Councilmember Brannigan.
Yes.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Councilmember McKinney.
Yay.
Councilmember Wilmot.
Yay.
Councilmember Carroll.
Yay.
Councilmember Segura.
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0 to open your hearing. We're now in a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on item 9B? Please come forward now. Seeing no one, I have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan, to close the hearing on item 9B. Councilmember Brannigan.
Yes.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Councilmember McKinney.
Yay.
Councilmember Wilmot.
Yay.
Councilmember Carroll.
Yay.
Councilmember Segura.
Yay.
Councilmember Hayes.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 to close your hearing. I have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan for approval. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Segura has his hand up.
Thank you, Council President.
Councilman Segura. Yes.
Thank
have
you,
the
Council
floor.
President. I just want to make clear my understanding. We had a meeting on June 14th where a motion to do something with the budget was put up. A lot of discussion was had, pros and cons, whether it was procedurally correct or incorrect. I was in a position it was not correct, and then it still passed. But then various discussions were had with Legislative Auditor's Office. I understand some of our other council members went to a meeting with the Legislative Auditor with former city attorney members, and a discussion was had, and then is this the process that the Legislative Auditor is saying is needed to correct what was done improperly? City Attorney?
I would have Mr. David Sherman
Mr. Sherman?
speak on that because he was the one who dealt with that.
Yes. Two different groups talked to or met with the legislative auditor. Legislative Auditor's Office was extremely helpful, and what they recommended is that we do a combination of an ordinance, a resolution, do both to be safe. You could do one or the other. The council decided to go ahead and do it via ordinance. So passing this today, having the public hearing and passing this today will satisfy the legislative auditor whose attorney said, yes, this will go ahead and remedy the situation.
So then apparently what was done on the 14th was improper.
Well, this will remedy whatever was done on the 14th,
Okay.
and everybody will be happy.
All right, then that satisfies that we're correcting what was done improperly. Thank you.
I'd like to make comment as well. I attended the meeting with Ms. Shea and with the Legislative Auditor's Office, and I followed up with an email. I'm going to read the email. Dear Ms. Shea, thank you for accepting my telephone call today, wherein I called to reconfirm a suggestion that you provided to us at our July 14, 2021 meeting, which would remedy/solve any procedural problems that we may have encountered with our FY 2021/2022 budget. You suggested then and again during our telephone conversation that if we proceed by way of ratification, and I quote, ratification, it would take care of any procedural problems. Please know that I wanted to be sure of your suggested remedy before I placed legislation on our upcoming agenda. With kind regards, Tom Wilmot, Counter Council President. The response I got, good morning, you are correct. This is our suggested approach to correct what appeared to us to be procedural issues. If we can be further assistance to you in your efforts, please do not hesitate to call. So that sums it up as well. So this will remedy the procedural problems that I know of. So this legislation was filed, and I hope that it puts the final issues to bed.
Mr. Chairman, Councilman Brennan and Brannigan both have their hands up.
Go ahead.
Councilman Brannigan.
Me?
Yes,
Okay.
Brannigan.
Yes, I was in the meeting with the legislative auditor, and this clears up things that happened between May 1st and June 14th.
Councilman Brennan.
Thank you. Ms. Sally, in your opinion, did we do anything improper?
Regarding what specifically, Councilman?
The budget of the
I was
14th?
not part of that. I
Mr.
did
Sherman,
not
can
have
you
anything
address
to do
that,
with
please? It seems to me that the comments are we were just dotting i's and crossing t's in so many words. And I just, the word of that we did something improper is just kind of,
Well, no, the reason why you have to dot your i's and cross your t's, and the only reason, and I think Council Chairman Wilmot will agree, the only reason we had to go back and adopt this ordinance is because, in my opinion, but also in the opinion of the attorney for the legislative auditor, there were certain procedural issues that needed to be resolved, and this clearly resolves them. What Council Chairman Wilmot read is clearly, is my understanding also, and I had numerous conversations with her. This resolves the issue.
thank you.
Thank you. Any other?
No further comments. Council members, please vote. Councilmember Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot,
Yay.
Carroll,
Yay.
Segura,
Yay.
Hayes,
Yes.
Brannigan.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 to approve item 9B. Item 9C is a public hearing regarding summary ordinance number 12,898. An ordinance authorizing a public hearing and approving amendment number 5 to the fiscal year 2020 annual action plan for the proposed home investment partnership home grant for the Community Development Department. I have a motion by Councilmember Carroll, seconded by Councilmember McKinney, to open a public hearing. Council members, please vote. Councilman McKinney?
Yay.
Councilman Wilmot?
Yay.
Councilman Carroll?
Yay.
Councilman Segura?
Yay.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. We're now on a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the council? Ms. Shaw?
Yes, ma'am. This is simply an amendment to our 2020 for our home budget. Some of the waivers that were given to us through COVID, they end September 30th, 2021. Because they end, we have to reallocate funding, so we're reallocating that funding to our Community Housing Development Organization, New Hope. We purchased several houses in 2019. We have rehabilitated those houses. We're almost finished. Once we finish, we're going to be selling those houses to first-time home buyers. Once we get the money back from that, we'll reinvest to keep doing the same thing. So that's the purpose of reallocating the funding. Any questions?
Seeing none, I have a motion by Councilmember Carroll, seconded by Councilmember McKinney, to close the public hearing. Council members, please vote. Councilman McKinney?
Do we have an amendment?
That will come in just a second. We have to close the hearing. Councilman McKinney?
Yay.
Councilman Wilmot?
Yay.
Councilman Carroll?
Yay.
Councilman Segura?
Yay.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. I have a motion by Councilmember Carroll, seconded by Councilmember McKinney for approval. Council members, I have received a request to amend this item at this time. In the last section, Ms. Tamizia Shaw has requested that we change the wording to read, "Now therefore, under CHDO, set aside, remove the language, this activity is new and the budget will be $163,614. It was just a typographical error that we are correcting. So I have a motion by Councilmember Carroll, seconded by Councilmember McKinney on the amendment. Any discussion on the amendment? Council members, please vote on the amendment. Councilmember Wilmot?
Yay.
Councilman Carroll?
Yay.
Councilman Segura?
Yay.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman McKinney?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0 on your amendment. Back to your original motion as amended. Your motion was Councilmember Carroll, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Any discussion on the ordinance as amended? Council members, please vote. Councilman Carroll?
Yay.
Councilman Segura?
Yay.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman McKinney?
Yes.
Councilman Wilmot?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0 on your ordinance as amended. Item 9A is ordinances for the sale, purchase, transfer, lease, and/or alienation of immovable property. We have none. Item 10 is opening of bids. We have none. Item 11 is reclassification of zoning for final passage. Item 11A is a public hearing regarding summary ordinance number 12,896. An ordinance approving the plan of re-subdivision of a part of Lot 21, lots 22 through 31, lots 60 through 69, and part of Lot 70 into lots 21A1, 21A2, 21A3, 21A4, and 21A5. M. Centani subdivision of Oakland Plantation, which lots are owned by Byron Farb and Gregory Farb, and amending ordinance 11,062 adopted by the City of Kenner, Louisiana on March 17, 2016, entitled Unified Development Code of the City of Kenner, Louisiana, more particularly amending the official zoning map of the City of Kenner and rezoning lots 21A1, 21A2, 21A3 from MU mixed use and R2 two-family residential to SI special industrial, and directing, authorizing, and empowering the planning director for the City of Kenner to alter and amend the official zoning map of the City of Kenner, Louisiana. I have a motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney, to open your public hearing. Council members, please vote. Councilman Segura?
Yay.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Brannigan.
Yes.
Councilman Brennan.
Yes.
Councilman McKinney.
Yes.
Councilman Wilmot.
Yay.
Councilman Carroll.
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. We're now in a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address? Seeing none, we will hear from the Planning Director, Mr. Wendell Dufour.
Thank you very much, Council President. I just have a quick statement on this particular zoning case, since we don't have a formal presentation at this meeting. This is an attempt or a request by the applicants to re-subdivide his property and to rezone the property, because the property was acquired by the Farbs from the airport. So it was part of the airport's acquisition of property related to their noise abatement study back in the late 80s, early 90s. The Farbs obtained the property via a property transfer. They received this property and gave the airport property on the north side of the railroad tracks between airline and the railroad tracks. I believe that's part of what the cell phone lot is, or used to be for the airport. So, you know, a good portion of the property was already zoned special industrial. However, a portion was zoned mixed use and R2 two-family. Obviously, the airport land cannot be developed residentially. So in order for Mr. Farbs to develop his property, he is requesting that it be rezoned to special industrial. And the Planning Commission recommended approval. And as far as the re-subdivision goes, we have no issues with the re-subdivision either.
Councilman Carroll.
Councilman Carroll, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Director, I want to thank you and your department for this support, putting this into place. Also thank the Farbs. The Farbs have been part of the South Carolina area for many, many years. Their ability to purchase this property will be part of your guys fixing the property for many other people, because many other properties have mixed use. Councilman Segura and I both have been but dealing with this for a number of years, trying to do stuff. I think the good thing is that the Farbs have purchased this property. They will put it into commerce. It will beautify that Reverend Richard Wilson Jefferson Highway, and to ensure that the owners will cut the grass, the sidewalks, put a new face on that area, which will eventually make that whole area look a whole lot better. So thanks again for this support. It's a little piece for this area that will be beneficial to the community. Not sure yet exactly what it will be, but obviously it has to be within the zoning. It won't be anything outside of that. So we look forward to that. We look forward to this area being cleaned up, because it's literally right next to the East Jefferson Levee District. So they will become neighbors. They will have a partnership on ensuring the beautification of this area is in place. So
Well, I will say that the large lot that fronts on Williams, Reverend Richard Wilson, I have not confirmed this, but prior to the hurricane, he did have someone interested in that property to open up a private gym training facility for, I believe, acrobatics and possibly some other similar sports. It's a rather large lot, and it can house a very substantial facility. So that was the plan, as far as I understood it, prior to the hurricane. For the remaining lots, he's planning on developing small office warehouses, similar to what you see in parts of North Kenner where it's zoned industrial.
Yes. So thank you for that information. Obviously, it's a new world since the hurricane. So in conversation with Mr. Farbs going forward with yourself, Pete, please keep me abreast of what the new plans, if they change, will be, to ensure that we get the proper notification out to the public and everyone else as it relates to adding additional commerce and businesses and retail or whatever it's going to be for that area. We look forward to it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any other questions?
I have a motion by Councilmember Carroll, seconded by Councilmember McKinney, to close your public hearing. Council members, please vote. Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Have a motion by Councilmember Carroll, seconded by Councilmember McKinney for approval. Seeing no further discussion, council members, please vote. Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 11B is a public hearing regarding summary ordinance number 12,897. An ordinance approving the plan of re-subdivision of lots 1 through 15, square 111, into lots 1A, 5A, 9A, and 12A, Kenner Heights subdivision, Kenner, Louisiana, which lots are owned by D-Stop Properties LLC, and amending ordinance number 11,062 adopted by the City of Kenner, Louisiana on March 17, 2016, entitled Unified Development Code of the City of Kenner, Louisiana, more particularly amending the official zoning map of the City of Kenner and rezoning new lots 1A, 5A, 9A, and 12A, square 111, Kenner Heights subdivision, Kenner, Louisiana, from RR1 single-family residential to SI special industrial. I have a motion by Councilmember Segura, seconded by Councilmember Hayes, to open your public hearing. Council members, please vote. Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 to open your hearing. We're now in a public hearing. Seeing no public comment, Mr. Wendell Dufour with the Planning Department will give his presentation.
Thank you. Again, I'm going to be brief. This is very similar to the previous case. This is property that Mr. Anthony Sequeira, who is the owner of D-Stop Properties, purchased from the airport, and the airport had acquired that through their noise abatement program. So the property was zoned RR1. It cannot be developed residentially, so he's requesting that it be rezoned to special industrial. He plans to keep one of the properties, or new lots, for himself, and then on the other, I think 3 lots, he would like to build, again, some office warehouse, small office warehouse development for individual businesses.
Any questions?
Any,
No questions.
I have a motion by Councilmember Segura, seconded by Councilmember Hayes, to close your public hearing. Council members, please vote. Councilman McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 to close your hearing. I have a motion by Councilmember Segura, seconded by Councilmember Hayes, for approval. Councilman Segura?
Councilman Segura, you have the floor.
Thank you, Council President. Yeah, this is just like we talked with Councilman Carroll's property. It's airport buyout that's getting back into commerce, and it's a good thing. It sometimes has some concerns, but I went to the community meeting with the neighbors and had no opposition, so don't have any problem passing this. Thank you.
No other comment? No other comment, Madam Clerk?
I have a motion by Councilmember Segura, seconded by Councilmember Hayes, for approval. Council members, please vote. Councilmember Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 for approval. Item 12 is other ordinances for final passage. Item 12A is an emergency ordinance temporarily waiving permit fees if permit was necessitated by damages from Hurricane Ida and otherwise providing with respect thereto citywide. I have a motion by Councilmember Carroll, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot. Any discussion? Councilman Carroll?
Yes, thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Mr. President. I submitted this ordinance not in any conflict with the administration has done so far as it related to our constituents. It is in conjunction with that. Nothing that is in this legislation contradicts anything. Actually, it reinforces that, because based on some of the people about those 3 different groups that I talked about, the ones that are out of town, the one that's here, may have missed some information. This pretty much makes it a law for us. So now there's no misunderstanding about what exactly it is by making it an ordinance, and the fact this establishes a timeline for when it will stop. Now, obviously, times can change, But prior to that, there wasn't any dates about how long it could go. And the most important thing for people who are fixing their property, I think it's an incentive for them to understand this. I think it's an incentive for them to talk to their insurance company, to make them get off their dime and say, listen, we have this going on in the city of Kenner. I want to make sure that I meet this opportunity to meet the waiver of the fees to ensure that we receive our monies and we are connected with the code department to ensure that we will not, hopefully not, try to get swindled by people that come in, and that's what they do. So it is in conjunction with everything that we do. It sets the timeline. It ensures the constituents to have a confidence in getting it done. And I think it's good legislation. I'm asking for everyone's support. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Wait, 1 second. We do have the city attorney, interim city attorney, wants to make comment.
Thank you, Council President. Councilman Carroll, I have not seen that.
Madam Attorney, could you make sure you,
I have not seen that legislation. Does anyone have a copy of it?
Yeah, you have another copy.
Okay, because my concern is this, the proclamation that the mayor has already signed was in effect, and it goes until the end of the emergency. And the mayor did the original emergency proclamation at the conjunction what the governor did. And the mayor has already suspended permit fees connected to repairs in that order. And it's all within the emergency proclamation, meaning once the emergency is over, and I believe it ends September 29th, that ends. But if the governor extends it and the mayor extends it, then it follows. So I'm not sure if your legislation is in conjunction with what the mayor did, but more importantly, if you're giving different timelines than the mayor did, it can't be, if that makes any sense. So I have not seen that legislation, but the mayor has already done the order, and he did it, I believe, earlier this week or last week. But the emergency proclamation, he did it right before the hurricane, and we followed that same language and that same timeline and the same timeline given by the governor as to the emergency in Louisiana. So that is the time frame that we're following, because that's when the emergency is.
Yes.
So and again, so I don't know what you drafted, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm saying I have not seen it, we've not seen it, so I don't want it to cross wires. So
Yeah.
I would ask this council to defer and not rule on this one, since there's already one in place. As of right now, the city is waived the permit fees for repairs in conjunction with IDA. So that's already in effect. So this would be duplicating that, but I don't want two different laws. I think the city of Kenner does not want two different laws out there with two different rules out there and confuse the public.
Councilman Carroll,
Okay.
can I offer a solution?
You can offer, yes.
Maybe a resolution supporting the action that's already been taken.
Say that again now?
A resolution supporting the suspension of the fees and permits. Fees, I'm sorry, not the permits. The
So-
fees for the permits.
So you are going to, or someone's going to submit a resolution as opposed to my legislation?
I'm saying your resolution
Or
is,
ordinance?
your ordinance, I'm sorry, if you want to do a resolution to support what we're doing.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I will apologize, because I believe the council has not seen the order, and maybe that's why the wires
Right.
are getting crossed, and I apologize for
Or
that.
just defer it then. Yeah, that's fine.
There's no need to apologize. I think, like I said in the beginning, and as you said, the governor may suspend the emergency September 29th.
Well, he might extend it, but then we're following, whatever the governor's doing, we're following on behalf of the city of Kenner. So the mayor's proclamation follows the governor's proclamation. If the governor extends it, or if the mayor feels that it needs to be extended because of the situation of city of Kenner, then that will be extended, and all the suspensions may follow, or we may at that time, the mayor or the administration or council might decide at that time certain things are not part of the emergency.
Yeah, and as you said, this isn't wrong. It is not wrong for us as a council to do this. It is not wrong. And if the governor says the emergency is over on the 29th, we as the council have said we would like to extend it for our citizens.
But I'm saying you cannot, I'm saying right now, we already have, the mayor already has a proclamation order out there about the suspensions of the permit. I don't know what document you're referring to, so I'm saying I don't know if it's the same language. But if you have now a different language, different deadlines that you were talking about, because I have not seen it, then it's going to be contrary to what the mayor has already put out there that's already a law.
And I would just say, I have spoken to other municipalities, including Jefferson Parish, which has the exact same verbiage, and they did the same thing, even though the governor did what he did. So are you saying
No, I'm saying the mayor already did that.
And I'm saying the parish put the same
Jeff,
legislation in
can I-
and voted on it and approved it.
Can I speak
Right.
as a former parish councilman? Totally different setup. Totally different setup. The parish council would have that authority to do it. This is what I copied the executive order emergency order from the governor.
Yeah, and
But then, tweaked it for the city of Kenner, so you can't compare this body to the parish government.
well, we compare it all the time.
But you shouldn't.
As it relates to what
Yeah,
they
but
do, what
with
we do.
powers, with separation of powers, you shouldn't.
Well, I'm
Totally
not,
different.
and I never believe we are the same. I'm just saying it is compared all the time. And I'm saying that for us to put this in place does not break any laws.
But it's redundant. What I'm saying, if it matches what the mayor has already done, it's the same thing. However, because I have not seen it, I don't know if it's contrary law, so that if the city of Kenner will have two different orders, one from the council and one from the mayor that has two different deadlines. That's confusing to the city of Kenner. I'm saying I can't comment on something I have not
I
seen.
understand, and maybe after you get an opportunity to look at
That's
it
what I'm
and
saying.
see,
Maybe the council
and
should defer. That's
I-
correct.
No, I'm not going to ask for a deferment. It's up to everybody to vote. I believe.
Of course.
This isn't,
It's
this
my
is,
suggestion. That was it.
and I respect your
Yes.
suggestion.
Of
But I
course.
believe, I am believing that what I have in place does not contradict the mayor. It is in support of the mayor and our constituents. And I believe if, after you get an opportunity to digest it, if there is some significant concern or legality, then you should bring it back, and then we can address it then. But I don't believe that is the case right now. And every individual has to, they're going to have to decide what they believe. And like I said, I think this is additional support for the citizens of Kenner.
That's fine. I just put my advice and my opinion on the record.
Yeah, I'm not trying
Thank
to,
you, sir.
and I'm not
Of
trying to be an
course.
attorney. You are.
Thank you,
Obviously,
sir.
I'm not.
Thank you,
So
sir.
I'm
course.
just feeling as the representative for District 1 within the city of Kenner, I'm trying to do something that we also did during Katrina. We put this into place. So it's not like we haven't never done this.
Right, and I understand, but I don't know if the mayor had already done it at that time. But I'm saying it's done already. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you have not seen what the mayor did. And again, that is the disconnect, my miscommunication with the council, that you have not seen that order, so you don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't know what you're talking about, if that makes any sense.
It
Okay.
does and it doesn't. And like I said, I respect your opinion. Hopefully you respect mine.
course,
And
sir.
if
Of
we,
course.
if you
Yes, of
determine
course.
that after, because this isn't the first thing that we've disagreed on.
No,
Or the
no,
council,
won't.
or the administration. But I don't think that should stop us if we feel this is something good from going forward.
That is correct.
And if it turns out,
And I'll go get a copy of it, so while you all.
yeah, we can give you a copy of it.
Okay.
That's right.
Councilman Carroll, may I offer a suggestion?
Yes.
Would you possibly entertain an amendment to this legislation saying that anything that is a conflict with this legislation and the mayor's proclamation, that this legislation shall yield to the proclamation?
Yeah, if there's anything in contrary to that would hurt the citizens of Kenner, most definitely, I would do that.
Then we should be able to
Yeah,
do an amendment
I would
to
agree
that
to
effect.
that. I would agree to that.
Ms.
That's a great
Sala?
solution. That works,
Did you
Council
hear?
President, yes.
If we
I'm going to
could-
go through real quick.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, could you please clarify what we're doing?
An amendment indicating that if there's any conflict to this legislation we're currently looking at and contemplating passing, if there's any conflict, then that conflict will be resolved in favor of the proclamation.
Okay, all right, thank you. Attorney, you're drafting that amendment?
I'm going through it first to see if there are any, I might not need one, but
Okay,
I'm just going.
thank you.
If I can have comment while she's doing that and give her time.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Councilman Segura.
Thank you. Yeah, and I had spoke with Councilman Carroll a few minutes ago on this. Again, just seeing it in front of us at the start of the meeting. And it did have a August 29th, 2021 through January 10, 2022 date of effectiveness. So just want to point that out for the attorney so she can catch that, because I didn't exactly see it until I asked him and he told me.
Thank you.
But the other concern that I have is not that I'm against the waiver and the fees, it's just for educational purposes that the public understand the necessity of still needing to get permits for work to repair and rebuild their houses, because it's for their safety in the work that's going to be done. We have a lot of people that come into town on an in and out basis after these storms to do work, but they're either not licensed or do shoddy work, and if our inspectors don't get to go and inspect it, they're going to have a problem. So I make sure that, just for the sake of understanding, even though we waiver in the fees, permits are still required for their protection. So that's just what I wanted to emphasize, and I think.
And that makes sense. So, but if you read the legislation, it does say that. It's not contrary to any of that. I mean, I can read some of it to you, what it says. It says, the work to be permitted is within the judgment of the Department of Inspection and Code Enforcement, necessary to correct damages to the subject property caused by Hurricane Ida, to allow property to be returned to commercial use or to be occupied for residential use, and further provide that in that case of residential property, that the persons or person requesting the permit for construction or demolition can establish to the satisfaction of the Department of Inspection and Code. So we're not sidestepping the Code Department. We are keeping them involved in this. So I hope that meets the requirements of Councilman Segura's question, which was a good question. But that is in there to ensure that they still go through the process for their safety as well.
And just to follow up then, Councilman Carroll, in section 2, where you're asking that the code enforcement refund any fee paid by any person or person who had paid a permit fee prior to the effective date of this ordinance. And it goes on, if the fee would have been subject to waiver had the ordinance been in effect at the time. But clearly, it's the August 29th when the storm came in, any permit from that point forward, because any permit before that had nothing to do with storm damage.
Yeah, and you know, I think it says that anyone who paid a fee after the 29th, that their fee, to be fair, should be returned to them. That's what it's saying.
Well, is the code director here to tell us?
No
if
one's
we
paid a
have-
fee.
Yeah,
No one's paid a
I've
fee.
never heard that.
I'm not saying they did.
We've
if
only
they
been
did.
open a week, so we
I
would
see.
know everything. And this whole week, we already had suspended all permits pertaining to hurricane damage.
I didn't know that,
No, I know that.
and I'm not questioning it. I'm just saying, if it was, that they should be reimbursed.
Got it.
Ms. Sala?
Yes, yes.
how-
Give me
how do-
one-
how
I'm
we look-
sorry.
How are we looking with the,
I'm almost done.
okay.
Yes, sir. Sent you a response that was supposed to be going to my assistant, Darren Mendoza. This is Glenn Hayes. We're working this out for your neighbor.
The only thing I would say is that the mayor's order deals with residential. This one deals with, I'm sorry. The mayor's order deals with residential property, not necessarily commercial. And this ordinance talks about commercial property.
Both of them.
As well. I mean, residential and
Yeah,
commercial.
as
Yes,
well.
yes.
And who are we, of the support of all the businesses that have given the city of Kenner, why should we not include them?
This is not a, may I?
I'm sorry, this is not about support. This is about the cost associated with inspecting for the permits. A residential inspection is not all that much. You'll have 1 or 2 people go out there, you're looking at closed walls. If you have a hotel that's damaged, and we have many hotels that are damaged, we are talking about substantial expense incurred by the city of Kenner to get a CBO out there to look. I would not recommend broad-basedly making a decision to say, commercial entities that have commercial insurance on their properties and have the ability to waive any of the fees associated, because we're incurring costs. With residential, it's less likely. But with a commercial, we have to hire people, not city employees, outside people, to go and do the inspections. So I'm not sure that, I'm not sure at this point, if you have a hotel come in and they have $1 million renovation, we think it's a really good idea to waive the permit fee on that one. But why don't we look at that? Because basically, if I understand correctly, because he can suspend any ordinance under the proclamation, if this doesn't turn out to be what looks right, he'll just suspend it. So I don't think we defer it. I think you go ahead and pass it if you want. And if it turns out that it actually interferes with the ability to recover from the hurricane, then he would look at suspending it. I personally think dealing with commercial and saying, John, we have the airport. Are we going to tell the airport they don't have to pay any permit fees?
I'm just saying, I don't look at the airport as anymore as another business. I look at them as businesses that support the city. So I'm saying I could be willing to even accept the fact to take out the commercial.
Right.
I understand what you're saying,
Right.
and I am willing to compromise to be able to take that out.
Yeah, I think at least let's look at what that means. And
Exactly.
And
So
come back to you later with
come
that.
back
I
to
would
us
not,
later.
if we can do residential and then look at commercial later, because right now, we are doing the assessment, there is substantial commercial properties damaged.
Yes, and obviously without having the knowledge of all of the commercial, I get that. So if we can pass it, look at that, and come back and take that out, I can agree with that.
You've just told every hotel in town to come get a permit tomorrow.
Yeah,
Tomorrow?
Right, in other
Well,
words, you're gonna pass it, and then we'll come
Monday.
back and take it out. If they come back
Monday.
while it's in effect
I
before it
mean-
gets taken out, again,
So we can take out the commercial right now, today.
I would recommend you take out, again, from an
Right. No,
administrative
I was just getting
perspective,
ready to
from an
say-
enforcement perspective, it would be easier to take out commercial now. Let's go look at that, see if that's an issue, see if we've had any applications. And if it turns out we've had an application and we deem together that we think that they should get their money back, we do it. But right now, just wholesale saying any commercial entity out there, no matter how big, no matter how well insured, no matter how much money we have to spend to inspect them. The purpose of those fees largely is not like, it's not a money grab. It pays for the expenses associated with performing the inspections.
I get it,
Right.
and agree. Let's take that out.
Okay.
I'm good with that, and to be able to, for the compromise, so I'm good with that.
So we
to
have
take
two
out-
amendments.
Exactly.
what's the First Amendment?
The First Amendment is actually, if there's any conflict between his legislation and the proclamation, Mayor, that you passed,
Yields
it's in
back to me.
favor of
Right,
the
okay.
proclamation. That's
Right.
one. And two, two,
It's back on.
It's just the
Two
air
would be-
conditioner coming back on, people. Don't panic.
Two-
The
two-
building's not falling down.
two would be taking out the commercial aspect of it.
Exactly.
Right.
We're
And-
looking at-
And just for the record, we did discuss this at numerous meetings, that I had suspended this, suspended all the fees.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I've heard internet, social media.
Well, no, I'm
I
talking
got-
about meetings with you all.
Yeah, but I'm saying I've seen it on the internet,
Right.
social media, all that too.
Gotcha.
Right.
But
Yeah.
just so the public knows, you all knew this.
Yeah, we knew that.
Because, just so the public knows, yeah, we did meet.
Yeah,
We met to run the city, absolutely,
Yeah,
and y'all were
I'm
informed.
not implying that it wasn't.
No, no.
I said, I agree with what you did.
Okay.
And I just looked at it and said, okay, to enhance it. That's just my position. Right.
As long as it's not in conflict, I don't have an issue. And I appreciate the offer,
Thank you.
Councilman Wilmot.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, if we can vote on those amendments?
Wait, one more, section 3.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Section 3 is an
Sorry,
issue.
so section
The
3,
finance.
section 3 reads, basically that the Department of Code Enforcement, may document any shortfalls in revenue and be reimbursed for said shortfalls from the Finance Department. So, yeah, I can't, there's no way, there's no way for me to reimburse a department for their shortfalls in revenue. You know, we don't have an account set up in the finance department that covers shortfalls in revenue, so.
It would
I
need to
would
be a
just
line item transfer from another department,
Yeah,
basically?
we would basically have to, and I expect us to come with with a budget amendment, and we will have to line item that from wherever we can find it in the budget.
To be able to, the thing at the bottom says that if they have a
And basically
shortfall,
to offset revenues is either gonna cut costs somewheres, from another department.
So maybe we need to take out also section 3, the commercial in section 3, and I think we're fine because you did say you followed the emergency proclamations for end date. But section 3, based on what Ms. Herring just stated, might be problematic as well.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
if you say it's going to be, I don't think it'll be problematic, but for the sake of voting on this, I would say yes.
And then we
Let's-
can put it on
exactly.
for the next.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Right.
All right. So,
So we have a third amendment
We're
then
gonna
that would
take
be
out
removing
section
section
3.
3.
Right.
the whole thing, right? Yeah. Yes. Right. So the only amendments are to take out in section 1 and 2, anywhere commercial properties are referred to, and then section 3 in its entirety.
Yes.
If the council agrees, of
Yes,
course. That's just my
I
suggestion.
support that. Yes,
All right, well, we got to vote on each amendment at a time, so
right.
Gotcha.
somebody going to read one.
Attorney, are you going to read it or give it to
I was
the,
gonna give,
Council Chair, may I make a comment, please?
yes?
Matt. Councilman Carroll, since we don't have any reference for the attorney to be looking at, with all due respect, instead of trying to do this from the floor and then having to come back and undo it, redo it, and rushing through this, would you please consider deferring this for one meeting so we can get the legal department to do this properly and we could vote on it at the next one?
Okay, yeah.
The fees are in place at this point,
Yeah, if you-
or the lack of fees.
If we as a council feel that, then I would agree to defer it, give them a chance to look at it, and then come forward with what they may feel or what we may feel is appropriate. So yes, I can support that. And then Ms. Sally will have an opportunity, even though I think we've dealt with the majority of it, to be able to be clear on all
and I
angles.
can clean it up. Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
I have a motion by Councilmember Carroll, seconded by Councilmember Brennan. One meeting deferral?
One meeting.
On a one-meeting deferral for item 12A.
That actually starts at 12 minutes.
Council members, please vote on the deferral. Councilman Carroll?
Yay.
Councilman Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0 for one meeting deferral. Item 13 is resolutions and motions by council members. Item 13A is a resolution accepting the federal funds from the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development Transportation Alternatives Program in the amount of $177,862 to provide sidewalks at Kenner Discovery School for the Department of Public Works. I have a motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Seeing no discussion, I'm sorry, Councilmember McKinney.
Yes, thank you, Council Clerk. I just have a clarifying question. In reviewing this background of the legislation, it said that they had a local match of 20% of about $153,000. Is that funding still available and designated?
Yes, that money's been encumbered, so it's
Okay.
available for the project.
Okay, and then I have another follow-up question to that. What is the planned date of the work to begin, and then also what's the estimated date of completion? In the application, it said it was going to be 8 months from the day of the application, and so I'm curious
Right,
as to
and-
that, yes.
And I'm only answering because I wrote the application. Of course, this is up to Mr. Schreiner. That is a reasonable amount of time to complete this project once we're able to get up and running. And it's certainly, maybe in the middle of the priority list. We're very anxious to get it done, but until the dust settles on what we're doing right now, it's difficult to answer that.
Right. And I understand, obviously the storm response is priority at this point. So, I guess I'll be following up on that because I think that this is definitely something that, is a priority to me and obviously the students who go to Kinder Discovery, so. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Council members, please vote on item 13A. Councilman Segura,
Yay.
Hayes,
Yes.
Brannigan,
Yes.
Brennan,
Yes.
McKenney,
Yes.
Wilmot,
Yay.
Carroll.
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 13B is a resolution temporarily suspending Council Rule Number 7 and to address future council meeting locations, dates, and times in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida. I have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan. Councilmembers McKenney, you have the floor.
Yes, I actually have an amendment to offer. Let me get it out. It's on my first page. Actually, in 13B, there weren't specific meeting dates addressed, so I want to amend it, and I believe that the council clerk can pass out this information to all here, that our next meeting will be Thursday, September 30th at 5:30 p.m. The next meeting after that would be Thursday, October 14th at 5:30 p.m. And that's a change from the original date of October 7th. And that's just for the, yes, I'm sorry. They're going to be passing it out as well. Thursday, October 14th at 5:30. So instead of having the initial meeting on the 7th, it's just moving that a week, so there's time in between. And then there's moving the Friday, October 27th meeting to 11 a.m. All of those locations, and then we will deal with the meetings after that at that time. However, due to procedural requirements, I don't believe those are going to be moved. The location as of those three meetings will be this location and the former Macy's building as well. So,
Any questions?
Take Brennan.
Councilman Segura?
Just
Or take Brannigan.
at the 5:30 times for the Thursday meetings, I thought we had was there an issue with energy? Have we resolved it being able to get the parking lot?
So I spoke with Councilman McKinney yesterday, and I thought I had talked to some of y'all about it. Yes, I didn't, or I meant to talk to you about it this morning. We feel that next week would be a problem, which is what her and I talked about, to have the regular meeting next week. We feel that they'll start pulling out a little bit, not totally, but we could probably move this parking situation over there when those sleepers pull out. If not, we'll adjust it some kind of way, because we're starting to see them moving closer to the problem areas. Good news is we're not a problem area. When we all thought this was going to take 21 days, we thought we'd be facing this. So I appreciate you working with me with that because, or you too, Tom, because it's very important to work that out. And giving us, to be honest with you, to come back next week, we're not going to have, the good news would have been if we'd have come back next week, you probably wouldn't have gotten a 3-hour mayor's comments. But in 2 weeks, you're going to probably get a lengthy mayor's comments again to update you, but we'll have 2 weeks to update you on it. So this works out all across the board. We'll work with Entity to work that out.
I do have a question. What is the time that we need to be out of the or out of the parking?
4:30 right now. Right?
Okay, so we have 15 more minutes.
I mean, I don't think there's anybody to address the council, so when y'all are finished, we'll be finished.
All right, well, then follow up, Tom. Your legislation, you had 6 meetings. This covers 3.
I didn't even realize that.
What do we do for the other 3?
That's right. As far as the legislation itself, I guess this amendment will also indicate that it's not 6 meetings. It should indicate the next 3 meetings.
Is that going to be an amendment?
It's
Mr. Chairman, yes, can I call the amendment now, and then we can move on? I have a
Yes.
motion by Councilmember McKenney, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot, on an amendment that would amend the legislation to insert the next meeting dates as Thursday, September 30th at 5:30, Thursday, October 14th at 5:30, Friday, October 29th at 11 a.m. All the locations would be at the Macy's building.
And in addition to that, Madam Clerk, it should also, there's a spot, I think, in that piece of legislation where it says the next 6 meetings, it should say, change it from 6 to 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any further discussion on the amendment? Council members, please vote on the amendment. Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0 to amend. On approval as amended, I have a motion by Councilmember McKinney, seconded by Councilmember, I have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan to approve. Council members, please vote. Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 to approve as amended. Item 13C is a resolution requesting the administration to continue its efforts with the process of having E. John Litchfield and his team, which includes a demographer, have the council districts of the city of Kenner evaluated and assist the council in all aspects of its redistricting efforts due to the release of the U.S. Census data on August 12, 2021. I have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Is there any discussion on the resolution?
Any questions, concerns? No?
Seeing none, council members, please vote. Councilmember Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 14 is items removed from the consent agenda. We have none. Item 15 is acceptance of contracts and similar matters approved by the mayor. Item 15A is summary ordinance number 12,873. An ordinance approving an agreement for Phase 3 evaluations at the Pontchartrain Convention and Civic Center with the Solution Corporation in an amount not to exceed $135,000. Mr. Chairman, we've received a request from the administration to remove this item from the agenda. I have a motion by Councilmember Hayes, seconded by Councilmember Segura, to remove this item from the agenda. Is there any discussion on the removal? Council members, please vote. Councilmember McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 to remove. Item 15B is summary ordinance number 12,899. An ordinance ratifying the emergency purchase to replace one commercial grade 1.5-ton mini split air conditioning system for the KTV inside council chambers by Beacon Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration Incorporated in the amount of $5,850. I have a motion by Councilmember Segura, seconded by Councilmember Hayes. The administration, Ms. Foshee has her hand up.
Oh, Ms. Foshee?
Mark, did we already buy this? Okay.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Simply
Seeing no
because that
further-
part of the
Counsel-
building is destroyed. If we didn't already buy it, we probably don't want to buy this, but since we already bought it, you're approving it.
Councilwoman McKinney?
Okay, well, if we already have it, can we move it into this facility so we so we can use this here?
Council members, please vote. Councilmember Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Excuse me, Council Chair, I'm sorry, I guess I do have a comment, and if we've already purchased it, I'm assuming we could use it elsewhere as needed, is that?
And is Chris
You can't
here?
excuse me,
It's a
point of
very
order.
specific type of, like, through
Point
the,
of order. I thought our rules say that once you already take a vote, you cannot comment. Once you're in a vote, you cannot
Oh,
comment.
I had my, I
That's
kind of had,
true,
okay,
but-
We've
fine.
moved on, yes. That's
Councilmember
correct.
Kenny?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you, Council Clerk.
Item 15C is summary ordinance number 12,900. An ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Beacon Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration Incorporated to furnish and install 12.5-ton air conditioning system in the Space Station/Science Center located in Rivertown in accordance with letter bid number 21-1989 in the amount not to exceed $13,150 for the Department of General Services. I have a motion by Councilmember Carroll, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan. Is there any discussion?
Councilwoman McKinney.
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'm just going to echo Brian's question has this been purchased? And if not, can this be delayed?
Right, this one absolutely needs to be done. This is part of climate control in the space station or space center, or whatever you want to call it. So this is something we actually need. With respect to the other one, which I hope I'm not out of order, it's a mini split. It can be used someplace else. Now, it's a small one because it was for a very tiny room, but it might be able to be used in one of the trailers over at the, at the fleet yard. So yes, that one can be repurposed. This one is still needed for the intended use.
Okay, thank you.
And it has been purchased already.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
See no other questions.
Councilman Brennan, you good?
He waived.
Councilman Carroll?
Yay.
Councilman Segura?
Yay.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 15D is summary ordinance number 12,901. An ordinance authorizing the purchase of a Pad Trax Zeus two-pocket currency discriminator software and accessories from C&A Associates Incorporated, a sole source provider, and an amount not to exceed $3,942.18 for the Kenner Police Department. I have a motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember Carroll. Any discussion? Seeing none, council members, please vote. Councilman Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 15E is summary ordinance number 12,902. An ordinance ratifying the emergency purchase of roofing materials for the Field Services Building from Roofing Products and Building Supply Incorporated in the amount of $12,385.25. I have a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, seconded by Councilmember Hayes. Any discussion? Councilman McKinney?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Glorioso, was this already replaced? Has it already been replaced? And if
The
it,
material's on back order, but we already placed the order.
okay,
Yeah, no, but it wasn't replaced before the storm.
okay, thank you.
Mr. Glorioso, one more question. What is this material for in particular? What building?
To put the roof on the field services trailers.
The actual field services?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right, thank you, that's it, Madam Clerk.
Council members, please vote. Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 15F is summary ordinance number 12,903. An ordinance ratifying an emergency purchase of a 17.5 kW Onan generator, transfer switch, and miscellaneous electrical components from W.J. Blocher Company LLC in the amount of $31,109.39 for the City of Kenner Fire Department. I have a motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot. Any discussion?
None.
Seeing none, council members, please vote. Councilmember Brannigan?
Abstain. W.J. Blocher's been a client for 25 years.
Thank you. Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Councilmember Brannigan has abstained. Item 15G is a resolution accepting the construction of the 39th Street and Powell Boulevard Sewer Lift Station LS 4207 Upgrades Project by Gottfried Contracting LLC as complete by the Department of Public Works. I have a motion by Councilmember Hayes, seconded by Councilmember Carroll. Any discussion? Seeing none, council members, please vote. Councilmember Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segura?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 15H is a resolution approving change order number 1 to the construction agreement with Gottfried Contracting LLC dated May 28, 2021 regarding the Sylvaner Lift Station Improvements Project, increasing the contract amount by $8,761.90. I have a motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Councilmember Brannigan, you have the floor.
This lift station is in District 4 in Chateau Lakefront, and I know that the city has a contract with BLD Services, and I'm wondering why we went outside of BLD and brought in this company to address this issue.
We only go outside of BLD when BLD is unable to or when their cost estimate is higher than the outside company.
Wait, say that again?
We go outside of BLD when BLD is unavailable or when their cost estimate is higher than an outside company.
Okay, so these guys won the bid?
No, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, Councilman, that actually we did bid the project and BLD did bid it. They didn't win the bid. They were in second place, so.
Okay. So I was just wondering why, if BLD's got a contract with the city, why we did that. I totally understand it, though. Thank you.
No other questions?
Council members, please vote. Motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Councilman McKinney?
Oh, yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Carroll?
Yay.
Segur?
Yay.
Hayes?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 16 is ordinances and resolutions in summary for first reading. Item 16A is an ordinance amending ordinance number 10,758 on Lot 137-B and approving a planned unit development to all the new construction of 46,817 square feet, 4-story, 114-room true hotel to be located on Lot 137-B, Bainbridge Office and Industrial Park Subdivision, Kenner, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, in accordance with side elevation, landscape, and sign plans dated July 16, 2021 by Norman Patton and Associates. Item 16B is an ordinance amending ordinance number 11,062 adopted by the City of Kenner, Louisiana on March 17, 2016, entitled Unified Development Code of the City of Kenner, Louisiana for the purpose of amending Article 6 zoning and adding a new zoning district designated as Section 6.17 Laketown Gaming District for the purpose of adding land-based casino gaming and associated uses as permitted uses in the City of Kenner, and rezoning plots A-3A and A-2-3B, Highway Park, Kenner, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, from LD Laketown District to LGD Laketown Gaming District to allow land-based casino gaming and associated uses on those parcels, which property is owned by the City of Kenner, and authorizing and empowering the planning director for the City of Kenner to alter and amend the official zoning text and official zoning map in accordance therewith. Item 16C is an ordinance approving an agreement with Crossroads Centers Transportation, LLC, for wastewater sludge hauling and sludge trailer maintenance and repairs in accordance with RFP number 21-6592 in an amount not to exceed $326,500 annually for the Department of Wastewater. Item 16D is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from We Can Safety and Environmental Supply, LLC, to purchase 626 retrospec CM-3 children's bicycle helmets in accordance with bid number 21-1983 in an amount not to exceed $11,793.84 for the Department of Economic Development. Item 17 is reports from the council and/or special committees.
Any reports? Councilman Carroll?
She can go ahead.
Okay. Councilwoman?
Oh, yes. And maybe I should have done this earlier, but, and I did, some of the people I wanted to thank are not even here, but I just wanted to thank, and I think the administration also did some of this, but thanking Ronnie Maines, the Vineyard Church, the Church of the King, Family Church, and all the churches in our community that responded to the to the development or to the hurricane and provided needed services by giving out food, warm meals, or anything like that. That's what makes a community, and that's what makes our community strong, and that's why Kenner is one of the many reasons why Kenner is going to come back even stronger than before. So thank you to all of those organizations and all of the ones, and of course, couldn't name all of them. So we just really appreciate that as being partners in our community. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilman Carroll?
Thank you, Mr. President. And just to echo Councilwoman McKinney, the group that she named, and I'm not sure, maybe I missed it, the Convoy of Hope folks that also supported the city of Kenner for a number of weeks. Obviously, we have talked about all the city departments, the council, about the support we've given to the city, but that is our job. We get paid to do that. But these individuals, CRC, Convoy of Hope, different churches, it's not their job to support. They did it because they want to do to support the city of Kenner. And also for all the people within each and one of our neighborhoods, mine as well, that after the storm, after no water, after no energy, to be able to come together and feed individuals, to help clean up, particularly seniors who may not have had the support, who had to stay to literally help, that speaks volume for our community. And for us to support our workers, it's even paramount to understand that the people who live in the city of Kenner are a special breed, and I want to personally thank them, and from all over the city, from helping our neighbors, because that is what's going to make us be successful. And all of the support that they gave to their neighbors and friends and relatives, you just can't put a dollar amount on it. So for myself, everyone in District 1, thank all the neighbors in the different cities, in the different districts that supported our citizens, supported the energy folks, supported the Cox, supported everyone. It was quite evident, so thank them very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Anybody else? No other comments? Up next, we have next we're going to move to persons wishing to address the council on special subject matters. I'm going to read these two names. I don't know if they're here, but we're going to start off with number one, Mr. Marky Dietrich.
He left earlier.
He left? Okay, and next, and I'm sure he left as well, but I'm going to call his name anyway, Greg Teft.
He's gone.
Both are gone. All right, I can entertain a motion if that's the case. Motion, second. We're adjourned.